Every year we see an iPhone accessory that claims to turn your phone into a professional style camera. Well, this year with the addition of the new 48 megapixel camera system and this pro style camera grip, we might be closer than we've ever been. Now I'm the first person to walk into a room and say, hey, you should have a dedicated camera to take photos and videos outside of your mobile device. But when people ask me like what camera they should get or what camera they should use for X, Y, and Z, I'll always say it's the camera you have with you, and 9 times out of 10, that's gonna be your cell phone. And if you're one of those people with a cell phone who would like to bridge that gap just a little bit between cell phone and mirrorless, stick around for a little bit because I think you're gonna like this one. This here is the Teleson Master Grip Creator Combo, a MagSafe camera system that doubles as a battery bank and makes shooting with your phone feel more like a professional camera. Full transparency, Teleson sent this out. They did not see this video. They did not know what I was gonna say about it. So this review is just kind of my thoughts and first impressions on the device. Anyway. Unboxing, the first thing you'll see is the case, which is made out of a graphene material. The silver and black really does look good in my opinion, and it has these vents on the back to help with thermals. The camera control is wide open, there's nothing covering that. Could possibly lead to damage, but I wouldn't worry about it too much. And if you look at the rest of the phone, there's clicky buttons all around, with the lock button being a little finicky because it seems to trigger Siri for me all the time. Looking around the edges of the case, you'll see that there's lanyard connections all around, so you could even use a regular camera strap with this thing, no problem. Flipping it over to the camera plateau, you'll see there's this little slide-on area, and here you can put on a UV filter, a V&D filter, or whatever other kind of filter that can fit. It did come with a UV filter, and I really wasn't able to tell if they sell other filters on their website. Maybe I wasn't looking hard enough, I'm not sure. But the case does seem very protective of the backside of the phone, with the front side seeming a little more at risk. The front lip of the case is not that deep, so the phone's screen feels a little bit more exposed. Luckily, Teleson gave us a screen protector within this package, so we're good to go there. Now, moving on to the Master Grip itself, it is a MagSafe camera grip. It has 3 buttons on the top with a zoom rocker, and it has a control dial on front just like any mirrorless camera would. On the bottom, you'll see a 1/4-20 mount, which is really convenient for a phone, a lanyard mount, a USB-C charging port, along with a little button to activate the power bank capabilities of this device. Also in the box is a little puck-style LED light that's actually pretty functional. It has 3 color temperatures and it gets pretty bright. This can be attached directly to the back of the camera grip. Pretty convenient as well when you're trying to get those perfect selfie shots that just need a little bit of extra light for your shot. You also get that screen protector, a USB-C cable, a nice microfiber, and a lanyard that's actually pretty nice if you ask me. Now in the hand, this thing does really feel comfortable. Like you can see here that my hand is not the smallest hand in the world and it fits on very well. It actually has a little bit more grip than my S9 does here. If you look at the difference there, you can see this is much thicker. It's almost as thick as the grip on the S5 too. And I will say the MagSafe grip on this thing is pretty freaking strong. Like, I don't know, like this might be the strongest MagSafe accessory that I've ever used. On the software side of things, pairing this with my phone is pretty easy. Double tap it, hold it until it turns on, and then go to your Bluetooth settings, and you'll see it ready to pair. Now, there are some settings that you'll have to change within your phone before you can use this properly. So make sure you follow those instructions, because me, I didn't, and I was really confused when it zoomed in on me, and I didn't really know how to get out without Googling. So make sure you pay attention to those instructions. Now, once you have it connected, you can use it right away in the native camera app, but they do have their very own camera app called the Reefer Color app, which tailors to the grip a little bit more and lets you customize a little bit of the dials and the buttons here. But again, you can use this in any camera app, the Blackmagic camera app, the Leica camera app, the regular camera app, it doesn't really matter. This thing works in everything. It's just the buttons might do a little bit of a different thing. So there are a few quirks when you're not using their native app, but overall it works really well in every app that I've tried it in. Opening the camera app, you'll see a normal viewfinder like any phone, but they do give you some film emulations in here, from Fujifilm to Hasselblad, a Polaroid, and even a dive camera. There's 9 overall, with 2 of them being AI filters, which was a little bit confusing to me at first, because on those filters you cannot see what the preview is going to look like. So you take the photo, it applies the filter, and then you can see it in review, so it's a little weird on that part. But overall, the emulations look pretty good on this thing. Down on the bottom left of the screen, you'll have another button where you can adjust some settings, and here is where you can customize the dials and the buttons and whatever else. So now that we have everything done, let's take this thing out shooting. Stopped on a walk to take some photos and video with this guy, and it's pretty good. The software I think could use a little bit of work. The zoom, when you're zooming in, I don't think there's any kind of stabilization. So when you get to that 4x, 8x zoom, it gets a little bit wonky there. But when you do use it with the regular camera app, the regular camera settings all do just work normally. It's just a remote trigger at that point. So with whatever the app lacks, you can make up for in the native camera app or whatever camera app that you want to use. But this thing will be a remote shutter for. The zoom works, the secondary button, it does different things in some apps, but everything works. You just gotta like figure it out for yourself if it's not their native app. Now the argument on something makes something pro or not is very subjective. I wouldn't say this makes you a pro. I wouldn't say it makes the gear professional, but I will say it bridges the gap and makes it feel more professional because you're using an actual grip with actual controls. Side note, as I'm walking and talking, I'm realizing that the fitness routine is working. I'm not as out of breath, but doing both at the same time is kind of it's taxing, you know? Using the grip, you can tell there's a lot of thought that went into the design. Not only does it have a Hasselblad-esque look to it, but the tactile feels of the buttons and the clickiness of the dial really do make it feel like I'm using a mirrorless or DSLR camera. And while shooting on the 17 Pro by itself is great, especially since I came from the 15 Pro, so I didn't have this camera button here, it's been great. But there's really something about having that professional style grip in your hand that makes it feel a little more professional, I guess. I don't know. The battery life hasn't died on me yet, so the battery life, I'm gonna say, is pretty good. Now, I haven't used it as a power bank, so if you do use it as a power bank, the 17 Pro, I think you can do like 60% of the charge or something like that. I'm not exactly sure what it is, 3,200 milliamp hours to 4,000. I'm not doing the math here, but I'll put it right here for you. Now, this is definitely the most interesting MagSafe accessory that I've personally had. And is it going to replace your mirrorless camera or your DSLR or even, heck, some of your pocket point and shoots? Probably not. But it's one of those accessories that can add user experience to what you're already doing, 100%. And I think that's where this thing kind of shines, is it's not a necessity, but it's something to elevate your experience while taking photos with your phone. That being said, if you like this video, please give it a like down below. Helps tremendously. And if you do like this kind of talk with tech and cameras and all that stuff, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Let me know what you think about this in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.